Oh shoot, I look crazy. Alright, go ahead.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We'll start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Makakodash.
All right, Yahweh is the Heavenly Father's true name in the ancient Hebrew. All right, and Yahushai is his only begotten Son in the name in the Hebrew. All right, which we are the children of Israel coming back to our true nationality. Okay, in these last days, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has sent His Holy Spirit, all right, upon His prophets to come out here and to give the warning. Okay, the warning of what? Of the end times. All right, being that we are in the times that leads to the time of the return of our Messiah. Okay, to deliver His children out of captivity. Okay, starting with the elect. All right, now we understand the main reason why the prophets have been sent out is to give warning. All right, somebody give me Ezekiel 3:17 real quick. All right, and the warning has always been going out, especially before something major happens to any system, any economy, any society, any country, any nation, any empire. The Lord always sent out His prophets, all right, to give them the warning of what's to come, so His elect could what? To wake up and could be delivered from that perilous time. Okay, so the same thing is happening now again. Okay, so give me that real quick.
This is the book of Ezekiel 3:17. And it reads, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
That's right. So the Lord said He sent out His men, His watchmen. All right. He sent out His watchmen. All right, who are supposed to give the people warning from the Lord. Okay. So all these videos that we've been doing, all these times we've been coming out here, all these years, is to give people warning of what's to come. Right. A lot of people call it conspiracy theories. All right, they call it, things that are made up, tinfoil hats and all that, so-called myths and this and all this information. But guess what? All the things that we've been saying for all these years, starting from our elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, is all coming to pass. Okay, we talked about the so-called FEMA camps. All right, we talked about the time where they're going to be forcing people to take the V. All right, we talked about eventually they're going to come out forcing the world to really take that MOTB. Okay. And the road to that is all what? Hell. All right, that's that Odo ad chaos. Okay? So get ready for that chaos, and that's why the prophets are out here to give you warning about the chaotic times that we're entering into. All right? All right, so we're gonna get us out of here.
But yeah, man, I mean, it's the same story over and over again. You know, as we just read in Ezekiel the 3rd chapter, was it 3, right?
Yeah, 3.
It's the same thing that we're doing now. You know, the Ezekiel's back here again today, and it's the same message the Lord gave him. Because what was Israel doing at the time? They were getting into idol worship, right? They were committing all these abominations. And so the Lord told them, look, go and warn them from me, because if there's any evil pursuant to, what's that? I think it's Amos. Shall they be evil in the city and the Lord have not done it? So if there's any evil, kind of Amos 3, the Most High is the one behind it. So He says, go warn them from me. I'm the danger. Any form, look, at the end of the day, any form of danger you may see, a car accident, a demon, a lion, it's all of the Lord anyway. You know, it all culminates back to the Lord. So that's why He said, give them warning from me. Now there's a precept, I think also in Amos or Hosea, where the Lord says something along the lines of basically you need to stop your idolatry before I break forth, you know, like a fire upon you, you know, and then you don't want the Most High to do that, okay, because that's He's going to come upon you, as King David said, chastise me not in thy hot displeasure, roughly paraphrase. So you don't want that, but, you know, once again, it's the same thing over and over again.
Right, and that's why, ultimately, that's why the prophets have been sent out here. It's the same thing over and over again. The prophets were sent back then, and the prophets are sent back here again, doing the same exact thing we're doing back there.
Yep.
Nobody else in this earth is doing what we're doing.
Yep.
Okay, and this is not of us. This is of the spirit of spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Every one of us got that calling. Ultimately, we make it to the end that we know that we'll be chosen, man. All right, and there's a great reward that's coming for that. All right, but let's get into a few of the things that we've been warning about that is actually coming to reality very soon, man. Okay, 2023, and now we're shifting into 2024. Already. So we know the Lord is going to open up judgment after judgment, because this year started off with all this train derailments and all this stuff. The banks and all that stuff, it didn't just go away. All right, it only builds up, but in the background. And while it's happening, they're distracting you with all these different other things around the world. Okay, and now it's all gonna come crashing down, and then the reality hits when who that makes that call, and they start saying, okay, this country's gonna be doing this in the name of emergency powers. We're gonna do this. We're gonna be doing that. That's when people are gonna start being like, wait, whoa, when did this happen? It's gonna be too late. It already is too late. All right. But let's get that real quick.
So this is an article. The title says Rule 213, Isolation and Quarantine Procedures.
Right, and this is something I brought out yesterday through the Spirit. Okay, that this is all, again, it's leading to all this, the reason why they're pushing for all this online digital ID and all these different things, how to identify people, is to gather information on who they're gonna be coming after. Okay? Because they know that a lot of people are having conversation that revolves around the truth. People are waking up. So they need to know, okay, how do we silence the critics, so-called? How do we quell this so-called information that people are getting? You know, the prophets are putting a huge monkey wrench in our plans. They can't proceed with this so-called New World Order agenda if everybody's awake to it. There's going to be too much resistance. Look, there's 8 billion people on this earth. 8 billion. That's a lot of people. I saw a little clip, right? And they put like the 8 billion people on the earth, they put them all in New York City, right? The whole entire New York island itself, right? And you look at it and it's like a bird's eye view, right? They got people literally standing next to each other like that, like side by side. And it's all in a square. And I mean, the camera is zooming out and it keeps on going and going and going and going and going and going. It goes all the way to the top. And then when you see New York City itself, with 8 billion people on it right there, it's like, damn near the whole thing is taken up. And that's with people standing right next to each other, stacked up like sardine cans. You see, why do I bring this up? Is to show you how many people there are in the world. That's a lot of people, okay? And if all these people at once said that they were gonna have a resistance against this agenda, it's never gonna work. And that's what they're starting to notice online, that people are having these kind of conversations. A lot of people are questioning the narratives that are being put out there, okay? And they need people to be quiet. They need people to be asleep in order for this stuff to work. All right? So let's keep going on that.
It says the Appellate Division of the 4th Judicial Department reversed the Borrello lawyer Uniting New York State versus Hochul ruling. Senator George Borrello, Assemblyman Chris Tay, Assemblyman now Congressman Michael Lawyer, and citizens organization Uniting New York State had initially sued New York Governor Kathy Hochul on the New York State Department of Health over Rule 213. Isolation and quarantine procedures.
Right. So again, these things that's happening right now is to show you that your constitution is null and void. Okay? When you have a governor who's sworn in, say that she's going to protect the constitution, but yet she does rulings like this, that the state is coming against her and suing her and say, hey, what you're doing is unconstitutional. All right? You got to understand that the people who are in the inside who claim to be working for you are actually working against you. They're setting you up for, in their mind, success. It's safe and effective, it's protective, right? You're the smart ones, you went ahead and you took it, right? Be my apostles. This is God's, you know what? These are satanic people. And very soon, the world is gonna wake up to that and they're gonna be like, oh shit, a lot of people fled New York already, a lot. Okay, New York is not the same. It's not what it used to be. Trust me, New York has changed completely. The people are bugged the hell out, right? There's no ambition. It's just people just wilding out. This place is like literally Gotham. You know? Legit, like the crime rates is crazy. It's like, what the hell happened to New York? Rats is wilding out. You know? Homelessness is at an all-time high. You know? You go down on Fifth Ave, it used to be booming with tourists and, you know, like it was like, damn, this is dope. It was dope. 32nd Street, all this 34th. You know? All this shit has changed. And New York is like the capital of America. So seeing New York that way, it shows you that America is also following the same vibration of death. You know, it's dark. Like in the world of Scar. Yeah, Scar is ruling.
Yeah.
You know? There's bones everywhere. You know, there's
Valley
no
of dry
life.
bones.
The valley of dry bones. That's exactly what it is, man. You know? And it's all because what? The prophets are out here condemning this place, man. Did not the truth come out of New York? All right? So the Lord is showing you something, man. He's using a small sanctuary, all right, to break down a whole entire system, an empire. That's why it tells you in 2 Thessalonians that what? He's going to destroy them with the spirit of his mouth and with the brightness of his coming. The spirit of his mouth is already at work by way of the prophets. Okay? And we have the secrets of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and that's partly what? To destroy America, Babylon the Great. It tells you that in the book of Obadiah. Okay? A rumor from the Lord. All right? Any brother got a
Yes, real quick. Isaiah 14 and 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? And his pomp is talking about his pride, the splendor of America is being brought low, like the brother going into. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? So Lucifer is the so-called white man. He's the one bearing the light on the left-hand side, and people gravitated, the nations gravitated to his light, to his false knowledge, his left-handed knowledge, plastic, pollution, nuclear power, which he doesn't even know how to control, and it destroys everywhere he goes. Look at Fukushima in Japan. And where did they get that from? The so-called white man. And look what it led to them. Look what it led them to. Destruction, pollution, death.
right? Because ultimately, you know, the illuminated, so-called illuminated ones, the Luciferians, what they call themselves, right? They believe in what they call science, right? Now, what kind of knowledge do they have? They have knowledge on the dark hand, on the left hand side. It tells you that in the book of Psalms, the 64th chapter. They search out iniquities, man. Okay, they do a diligent search. All right, their heart is deep. They go into all kinds of left-handed shit, and they call it what? Light. You know, it's all bullshit. And you go into it, it goes into what? Science. All right, the word science means ciencia, which means to know, which is all knowledge. Knowledge of what? The left-hand side. That's what they all get into. You know, when you actually go into Esau's philosophies, it's all negative shit, man. They teach you that in schools all the time. You'd be like, why are they teaching this stuff? Why are they even researching this stuff? You know? And there's no good that comes out of it. The whole world just keeps getting worse and worse the more they try to talk about advancements and whatever they're doing. The more they advance, the worse things gets for everybody else. You know? And that's Esau for you. So understand that once they get to their epitome of what they want to accomplish on this earth, what is that gonna say for the rest of the people in the world, man? If we know that the more these devils ascend in power, the worse it is for the population or the global population, what does it mean when they finally ultimately get to their point where they want to get to? That's why Yahushua said what? That there shall no flesh be saved. There'll be no one left. These niggas talking about biometrics and, you know, transhumanism and all kinds of different weirdo shit that nobody's ever thought about before. You know? And that's the pride, man. He's saying that he's better than the Most High. Look at this guy, Gil Bates. You know, kill babes. You know, he do all these experiments on these kids in Africa. He be killing kids and killing babes. You know, this devil, man. He's never satisfied. Scripture says, whose desire is like hell. You know, this dude he just keep on heaping on dead bodies, man. He just keep on going. You know, but he came out here talking about CRISPR technology. You know, being able to, you know, change people's DNA and all that, cut it up. You know, take out certain parts, add your own shit to it. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Who thinks of shit like this? The devil. You know? And they're being exposed because of everything they do. You see, the prophets are a problem because the prophets are tying in all the things they're doing back to the scriptures. So now you can see scriptures playing out in reality. Something that they didn't want to happen at all. If they had their chance, they'll do all the wickedness in the world. As long as the scriptures is not there as the standard, they'll be okay. Because who's there to judge you? What standard are we judging you based on? But now we can go back and say, well, that's wrong. You know, you calling for LGBT no IQ people. Guess what? According to the scriptures, you can't do that. You see, so that's a problem for them. They got, all right, we gotta cut this down. You know, you can't eat human meat. They say, no, listen, we could put human DNA. We could create lab grown meat. We could do 3D printed meat. Well, what's wrong with the meat the Lord gave us? Yeah, what's wrong with that? Nobody ever complained about it. No, I don't think there's nations protesting saying we don't want to eat natural meat no more. We don't want cows. We don't want sheep. We don't want goat. Even those who go off eating pork, they're not complaining that they didn't want that. Who came up with this idea and told the world that this is important? If we don't do this, then we can't save the planet. Ain't nobody protesting that the planet is going down. Oh, we need it needs to do something to save the planet. No, that's your idea. That's your trick to the world. That's your deception. To let them to come in to receive that MOTB. And the prophets are here to tell you that's not going to happen. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, it tells in the book of Job, the 20th chapter, that you're going to get to a point, but you will be brought down. Okay? Isaiah 14, we just read that. You will be brought down by the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Okay? The brightness of his coming. All right?
Can I make a point real quick? And also, like it says in to add on to a point what you just said about how they're pretty much what you was going into is how they're normalizing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what Sirach the 10th chapter says, as the judges saw the people, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is saw the people. So through laws and legislations, they have what? They've made it now. They've made sin now like a normality. Now certain things like, okay, you know, I'm trying to be, you know, touchy, go saying this, but you know, like the thing with children, you know what? I think it's what MAPS as they call it. Is the terminology that's used. Now, back in the day, that's not supposed to be, but what they've normalized now to where they're giving rights for things like that. A man, a man, a woman, and a woman. That's against the scriptures, but now it's what they've normalized it. They've put legislations to say what this is okay. God's okay with it. Even the churches are now, well, not now, but have been, for lack of a better word, pushed to say these things, that it's okay to do that. So now what they've pushed through laws and legislation that it's okay to be like this. They're pushing out, they're making iniquity, sin to be the normality that, see, there's nothing wrong with it.
Right, and they're trying through witchcraft, telling people that no, that's okay. You know, it's part of freedoms, it's part of rights of people. What's wrong with that? If you don't allow it, then you have a problem. You're not inclusive. Well, guess what? The Heavenly Father is not inclusive. He's exclusive, very much so. That's why you devils came up with the opposite of what? Being all inclusive. The Most High is all exclusive, man. Okay? Here's a book of Psalm, chapter 94, and verse 20. It says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? That's what the brother just brought out. Okay, when you read in the NLT, it says, can unjust leaders claim that the Most High is on their side? Right? Leaders whose decrees permit injustice. We live in an unjust world. Look at the so-called justice system. It's a joke. All right, we're not even going to go into that because they don't uphold the scriptures in their justice system, in their so-called court system. It's all about money. You know, it's all about money with these devils, man. In the NLT or the...
Yeah, I think it was the NLT.
Okay. Yeah. So KJV says, Psalm 94 verse 20 says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? NLT, can unjust leaders claim that the Most High is on their side, leaders whose decrees permit injustice?
Did it continue to say violence by chance? Was that the next one?
Let me just see.
Maybe I'm thinking, because what I'm thinking about, I forgot, I believe it's Wisdom of Solomon, the 12th chapter, where it talks about the most odious works of those nations that were living in the land. Now, when you read that in the GNT, like the last couple of verses, it goes into how the people don't know that they're actually bringing violence upon themselves by the things that they're doing. So when that, I guess when you read that, it made me think of that. When you read it in the GNT in Wisdom of Solomon, the 12th chapter, like the last couple of verses, it talks about how the people don't know. They say that, oh, what they're doing is peace, that everything is all right, but they don't know that they're bringing violence upon themselves.
Hey, even right here in verse 21, it says they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. And that's what you're seeing now. Okay, they're coming up with laws and legislations and all kinds of shit to incriminate those who speak the truth. That's why the scriptures tell you that they make an offender of the word, or for the word. Okay? The men who are speaking righteously according to the scriptures and condemning this place with all the wickedness that's going on, just like in the time of Lot, Sodom and Gomorrah all over again. But this time a whole much more worse, because the Lord is not coming down to destroy only 5 cities. He's destroying the whole entire empire. So you can imagine what kind of wickedness compared to Sodom and Gomorrah that's going on now. So the vexation is at an all-time high. You see, that means that the wickedness is at an all-time high, and if you speak against it, they'll ridicule you, they'll condemn you, right? And as the scripture says, they shed innocent blood. You see, but the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is our defense. So when it's all said and done, we still got the victory. All right, we have awoken, and that's the problem with you devils. Okay, the war is brewing, and we're gonna see what happens after.
Yeah, I think that's in Revelation, the 18th chapter. You know, brother could get that. You know what you said about yeah, I know I can get it. About the sins reaching up onto heaven. You know, because with every empire, every age, you can sort of imagine like this imaginary cup of sins that the Lord gives them, and once it's filled up, you know, He takes them out of place. And when you deal with the even going back to the Canaanites, right, in the land of Canaan, the Lord said that. He said, I forgot who He said it to, but He said, I'm going to drive them out little by little, but their cup is now filled. And when that time is up, I'm going to bring you back so you can take them out of that land. So really, when the Lord had Joshua and the Israelites come and conquer the land, it wasn't just out of nowhere, but they were committing wickedness in the land. And the Lord said, no, I'm going to get you up out of that place, because that land was holy since the beginning. Right. Okay, that's the same region where the Garden of Eden was. So that land was holy since the beginning. All right, and then the Lord came back and reestablished it. So really, it belonged to us. You know, starting with Adam. And then when Adam got kicked out, over time, you had the families of Canaan come up in there, and then the Lord gave it back to us. You got that?
Where in 18?
Top. Yeah. And then it goes on. I think the fourth, that's the century stuff. Yeah. All right, keep going.
This is the book of Revelation 18:1. And it reads.
Oh, and Revelation 18 goes into the downfall of America. All right, Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon. This is America, man. You know? And as we read, you see, it's all in there. Everything that's written in there that John saw describes America to the T. Yep. All right? And historians, honest ones, would be like, yep, it is. America is, yep. You know?
And then they're going to turn around and tell you to pray for it.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, what?
Pray that the judgment of the Lord doesn't come upon this place. Why would we do something like that? You had me in the first half, and then you went completely off. Yep. Go on. Yeah, but that's why it says, let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. It doesn't. You could sit an Edomite down in the school and try to teach them all these scriptures. You know what's going to happen? They're going to understand one part, and then they're going, instead of, you may think, all right, I taught you this, so now the effect is you're going to go and put it into practice. They're going to go and do the reverse, because the way they understand it is going to be different. Oh, okay. So the Lord said that this was okay, all right, cool. Next thing you know, they're going to influence Jake to do the same shit the Lord said don't do. That's just how the devil moves. Go on. He's so much of a deceiver that he deceives himself.
And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven.
After what things? After the things that transpired in the chapters before. Go on.
Having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory.
Because remember, in 17, John describes how the allies of Babylon burned her with fire. Right? How shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. That's them shooting them missiles on this place. Okay? And guess what? They're looking now like, yo, U.S., you better tread carefully, because the amount of support you giving to to the 48ers with the bullshit they doing over there, it ain't looking too good for you. Carry on.
And he cried mightily with a strong voice.
So he heard an angel cry mightily. And you know, you got to pick out these words, right? When the scriptures put emphasis on certain things, you got to pick them out. When it says he cried mightily, it's like today if you say, yo, it was mad loud. You know? Go on.
Saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. It's fallen.
So in verse 8, in the chapter 18, Babylon is destroyed. Okay, it's not like now it's about to be destroyed. It's destroyed, and a part of its destruction was their allies shooting missiles on them too.
Yep.
Go on.
And has become the habitation of devils.
Now, when ancient Babylon fell, it wasn't a habitation of devils. The Babylonians were still there. Persians came in and took over. They even welcomed the Persians. They welcomed Cyrus up in there. You know, so this has to be a different Babylon, because that area in Iraq, modern day Iraq, that's still there.
Still there.
People still up in there.
They just had war there.
Yeah. You know, go on.
So if it was destroyed, how the hell did you come over there to make war over there too? This past decade or this past century.
Right.
Like
Yep.
how?
Yep.
And the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Mhm.
For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
What does that mean? Meaning that the wine, which when you read in Jeremiah 51, is written in there, the wine being the ideology, the philosophies, the ways, the influence, okay, of this place. Because what does wine do? When you drink it, it tells you in First Ezra's, I think either in the first 3 chapters, one of the wise men or one of the king's guard, he said wine was the most powerful because it basically makes, he said it makes the mind of a king and a child the same. When you drink wine, your mind becomes intoxicated, you know, you become inebriated, and you start to function out of your regular self. Sometimes it brings out something that you would typically hide with restraint, but when you get drunk, those restraints are off. Okay, so they were drunk with the wine of the wrath of her fornication, meaning that the influence that she put upon them caused these nations to behave in a way where they naturally wouldn't behave in that way. They've been corrupted, they've been polluted. And it's the wrath of her fornication because their actions is going to bring upon the wrath of the Lord upon them as well. Go on.
And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
Who are the kings of the earth? The kings of the earth are the leaders of these other nations, which trickles down to the people as well. Because as Shalamat brought out earlier, as the way of the leader is, so are the people. Go on. And how do they do that? By doing these deals, these trades. Oh, as a matter of fact, there's something called the Kissinger depopulation policy, something like that, where they go up into these countries and they tell them, look, we're funding you, and we can do this the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is we keep funding you, but you got to start lowering your population, meaning you got to increase death rates and decrease birth rates. That's why you got to push Planned Parenthood, push contraceptives, eugenics. Make life hard for people that want to have children. So make them afraid to have this. And if that's not enough, you need to start causing situations. That's when they start putting the fluoride in the water. They start increasing the toxic foods. They start, putting these drugs that'll kill people. And then they tell you, if you don't want to do this, we're going to come in there and do it ourselves. We'll spark a civil war. We'll spark something. And when we come in there, we're just going to start killing people. Because your population has to stay within a certain range. And if it's above that, then that's a problem. See, so they go around with these policies, influencing these nations, forming agreements with them. Because in today's day and age, if you isolate yourself as a country, you're dead. It's the same as committing suicide as a country. You need inter-trade. That's why when they sanction a certain country, they use that as a weapon, as an offensive. Go on.
And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich.
And who are the merchants of the earth? Those nations that export things, okay? They're rich because one of the number one consuming countries is America, and parts in Europe too. Because when they say this country is one of the biggest importers, that means they have some of the largest consumer base. Because when you import things, that means who you're importing it for. You're importing it for the consumers who are consuming it, who demand it. Right? Go on.
Through the abundance of her delicacies.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard another voice from heaven.
And that's why a lot of people come here for everything. If you notice, you can get anything over here. You get like they have specific stores where you can just buy light bulbs. Specific stores where you can just buy food. You can buy this. So they got all of that. These are considered delicacies, and they're imported in here. Cars, materials, all of these things. And these consumers, they come here thinking, yo, this is the American dream. I'm gonna get what I want. And so because of that, these merchants, they made rich. They're like, yo, we just sell oil, you know, trees, fruits. When you go on Amazon, half the things you order don't even come from the U.S. You know, they come from overseas. And that's why Amazon is so rich, because they're like an intermediary between you and all the merchants out there. Go on.
saying, "Come out of her, my people."
Read that again.
Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins."
So who are the people? The people are talking about the Israelites, but specifically the elect. And when they come out of her, how are they going to come out of her? They're going to get beamed up. Like today, you would say they got abducted. They're going to get beamed up into the air. Okay? That they be not partakers of her sins, meaning that they don't get destroyed with her. Go on.
And that ye receive not of her plagues.
And what's going to be the number one of her plagues? The missiles, the fire. Because that's a plague as well. Zechariah 14 and 12 tells you that. 12 and 14? 14, 12? Oh, okay.
Oh, no, sorry.
Go on.
For her sins have reached unto heaven.
And that's the point right there. Her sins have reached onto heaven. Just like Sodom and Gomorrah. As it says that the cry has gone up to the Most High, and he came down to see if it was so. Go on.
And God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the point right there. The sins of America have reached onto heaven, and now the Most High is bringing that judgment. You got it.
Oh, that's it?
Oh
Yeah, it does. I think it was an article you want to talk about.
Yeah, bring up the last verse that you just read. Go point in there.
Revelation 18 and 6. And it reads, "Reward her even as she rewarded you."
Right. So that's exactly why America's history is being brought up again. You know, all these things that these Jays and we're going back into the history, because remember, this is all you're being put on trial right now, and the world is the court. Okay, and the prophets are the witnesses, and Yahushua is bringing down that judgment. You see, so you're on trial, and that's why you devils can't go nowhere. All the witnesses are paying attention, right? Isaiah 14. Is this the man that weakened the nations, right? That made the world to tremble, right? We're going back into your history, okay? And starting from the Greeks all the way down till now, we've seen a pattern of violence, okay? Hamas, that's right. A pattern of violence, just like it was happening in the time of Genesis that brought the flood. We're seeing the same exact thing happen again, but this time on whole another level. Okay? This time these devils are saying that they want to be the Most High. What's that? 2 Thessalonians, that he opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God. Okay? That he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Right? And how they gonna do that? They're changing the concept of history. They're changing the concept of reality. Laws, times. They want to wipe out the history of the true Hebrew Israelites, man. They've whitewashed everything. They started off with the reincarnation. They started off with the Renaissance period. That's when it all started. And they thought by now, from that time all the way till now, they should have at least established their new world order. But it's not gonna happen. Okay? Your time of deceiving the world is almost up. All right? It's pretty much almost up at this point. And once that time is up, guess what? The whole world is already waking up. The Lord's going to shut everything down. All right? He's going to come in full steam ahead, man. Now they're saying that NASA is receiving signals from outer space. What's that all about? We've been telling you what's gonna happen to your kingdom. We've been telling you that there's going to be power from on high that's going to come back here and destroy this whole place. We've been told you that. Okay? Now we told you what the Russians gonna be throwing missiles over here. Right now they're testing missiles right now, man. So everything that the prophets have been saying is all manifesting. It's all manifesting, man, all at once. Elon Musk is already ready with his MC hip, talking about he's looking for people to bring their brain cells. You know, he's looking for people to come in and start testing that thing out. And once they start doing that, that means that the technology is already ready. Now it's time for them to introduce it to the public. Okay? So we're almost there, man. All right? And that's why you see things happening rapidly. All right? Revelation 12 and 12 is next.
Altazar always mentions the technology, mentality, and the reality. So you got the technology. Then what? Once the technology's out, then it starts working on the minds of the people, because what you now start getting accustomed to it, like the credit card, for example, right? At one point, the credit card didn't have that little square box that has on the left side of it, but now over time, now it has it. And now you get used to what you just do this, or something you do. So that's working on the minds of the people. Then what? Eventually, it becomes a reality to where it's no longer just this. Now it's going to be you scanning your hand.
Well, they have that now with Whole Foods.
Amazon.
Yeah, they have that technology. The palm reader shit. And so how much more information do you need to understand that this is all going to be tied into some type of digital prison? You can't get out. Just the same way, once that C-hip goes into your body, you can't take it out. Everybody gonna be like, oh, it's in my brain, Lord, before the missile, I'm gonna just go pull it out. How? Or it's in your hand. Like, there's something known as scar tissue. It builds scar tissue, man. Okay? And that technology is made in such a way that the way it's implanted, they have to remove it a certain way. If you try any other way to take it out, there's some chemical in there that goes off, and you're done after that.
Cyanide, I think.
I think it might be, yeah.
It might be.
Yeah, there's some crazy chemical they have. I'm like, why would you even put this in there and say to have it inside a human body? Because it has to be able to connect with radiation, the radio frequency. All right, so this devil is a mad scientist, but again, those devices are there to destroy you any damn way. That's why the Lord said those who take it gonna be destroyed. Because once it's in your body, you're pretty much non-human. You know what I'm saying? The essence of you being a human being is gone. That's your so-called concept of will to live will be taken away from you, man. You have there's this movie that came out, I believe, last year, called Implanted. And there's a scene where the character, like the thing, I think it was in their head or some shit, right? A C-hip in their head. And they start bugging out. It's like demons, bro. Like they were moving like they got possessed. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like they show you what these things are all about. These devils done research on something known as the VMAT2 gene, all right, the so-called God gene, and they want to do away with that. It's like, what? Why? Why that? Why are you targeting anything that makes someone have that human qualities? Why? Because in the scriptures, in the book of Genesis, it tells you, the Lord said, let us make man in our own image and likeness. So to them, the ultimate rebellion is to make a man in their image, in their likeness. You see? To counteract what the Heavenly Father did. They want to change the whole world and how it moves, the mechanisms of the earth, changing the organic into inorganic. That's the very devil for you, man. But we're the bad guys for bringing this stuff out.
And what you said reminded me of that movie, The Gray State. You remember that movie? It wasn't released, but it was like all going into like, people receiving that device. And then all of a sudden the director shows up dead, his whole family's dead, and he's a Muslim extremist all of a sudden. He had like jihad shit on his walls. And he all of a sudden, they had no indication that he was a Muslim before, but now he just decided to delve into that. And and that's that. Hey man, we already know what happened to that dude, but he didn't have the protection of the Lord. That goes to show, putting out this type of information, you have to have a hedge around you to put that out. Otherwise, hey man, you're gonna be done in. The elites are gonna do away with you. But why can't they do that to us? Because the Lord is protecting us.
Right. Because we speak from the scriptures. There's a defense. We have a clear defense right there, man. So they can't really break through that barrier. Because anytime they come up with something, we say, well, according to the scriptures. Now you can't incriminate us. We're reading from the scriptures. So you can't say, well, you got. That's why they all come up and say, well, what are you saying? We ain't saying shit. Just like how you devils like to talk. When somebody asks you a direct question, you divert. You say all kinds of different shit without answering the question. That's the same thing. We're gonna talk to you according to the scriptures, man. And that's all we need to do. So if you can't handle that, then there is no conversation to be had. Okay, because we're here to discuss the truth. All right, that's all we care about is just the truth, man. And if you ain't coming with the truth, we're not talking to you. There's nothing to talk about. All right, just sit down and wait for your missiles, like we used to say back then. When we first came in. Just sit down and wait for your missiles.
Fresh batch.
That's it.
I just want to, Slack, I don't mean to deviate from the article, but just to give some points now, like in movies, right? Because art imitates life, right? And they pretty much, what you see in art, like movies and things like that, you can even use music, what they want to make that into life. So like 2 movies that come to mind, well 3 movies, I did a video on one, which was how you said, with the Jurassic World movies, how the first one with the Indominus Rex, it had the thing inside of it, and it knew that they was tracking it from it because it had intelligence, it had like the intelligence of the velociraptor. So in order for it to stop tracking them, it digged it out and it took it out because it knew it was, that's how they was tracking it. And it actually brought them to it and then it killed them. Then the second one, which was Fallen Kingdom, the chick said how basically we could find whatever dinosaur we want because when the sea hip is inside the dinosaur's body, pretty much the dinosaur's body is what charges the thing, so it keeps it going. Then the third movie I want to mention is one that I did recently a video on, which is Ghost in the Shell, and that's based off a movie I think like an anime that came out like 1995.
Was it acted by Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, the recent one, but it goes back to 1995. And basically, what that whole thing was, she eventually found out how, spoilers, like if you see this movie, I know I spoiled that shit. But basically, how,
It's okay. This is gonna always spoil everything.
So basically, how it was found out how she was taken as a little child from her parents, and that basically they took her brain out of her body and put it into a cybernetic body. That's why the movie is called Ghost in the Shell. Pretty much the ghost is your spirit and the shell is your body. And pretty much when one of the characters that she grew up with as a child, they also did the same thing to him, and he wanted revenge in the movie. It's a good movie, you should watch it. He was basically how, he told her how your ghost belongs to you, but the shell belongs to them. So the shell basically is what? The cybernetic body that they gave, they can control you through that. But your shell, which is your spirit, that belongs to you. Don't let them control that.
That's pretty much what we're saying now. You know, that they run this world. So if you allow the things of the world, like the scriptures say, that people who are friends with the world are enmity to the Most High, they allow you to come around because that's their playground. That's the devil's playground. The outside world, the carnal. The spiritual is the Heavenly Father's playground. You see, He's a Father of spirits for a reason. You know, and that's why He dwells in the spiritual realm. Okay, so those who are operating in the spirit on the right hand side are closer to the Heavenly Father. That's why when you fast, right, you feel much more closer to the Spirit. You know, you feel sharper, you feel energized, you feel alive, you feel like you're back to your senses, man. You know, you feel level. You know, sometimes you know the worldly shit just bothers you so much. When you fast, you just level everything back down. You feel that sense of calm again. Like, all right, maybe I was just bugging out. You know, I'm letting this shit get to me. You know, you fast, you pray. You know, all of a sudden you just get centered again. You see? But again, what we're saying is that what? We have a world full of what? Iniquities, madness, chaos. And if you revel in that, you know, if you fear the things that we're about to enter into very soon, and you don't have that attention to the Heavenly Father and the Spirit, you're gonna be caught out here, man. You're gonna be caught out here. Okay, because the information is being brought out. Okay? Who has been telling you about the MOTB? Who has been giving out that warning about the MOTB? What's going to happen before the MOTB comes out? You see, the prophets of the Lord, starting from my elders, apostles of Great Millstone on down. So if you end up taking that, what's going to happen to you? That means you didn't take heed to the words of the Heavenly Father. You didn't care about the warnings that was going out for all these years, man. And now it's about to be a reality as we're reading. Okay? You can give me 2nd Ezra 16, verse 68 on down. You know, perilous times are truly coming, man. And like the like the NWO, their mantra is what? Expect no mercy. Who do you think gave them that ideology? That's coming from the Heavenly Father.
Yep.
You know, it tells you that in Proverbs, the 1st chapter. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. That's expect no mercy. Because if you find the Lord, that means you have a chance of mercy. Okay? What's that in Isaiah 55 where it says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found, draw unto him while he is near.
They're going to find his left hand.
There you go. And there'll be no mercy, man. You know? Go ahead.
So I'll read back up a little bit. So it says, again, Senator George Borrello, Assemblyman Chris Tate, Assemblyman, now Congressman Michael Lawyer, and Citizens Organization Uniting New York State had initially sued New York Governor Kathy Hochul and the New York State Department of Health over Rule 213, isolation and quarantine procedures. What does this mean? The state can now force anyone into quarantine for any reason, as this is not limited to the CV.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Isn't that unconstitutional? Yeah. All right. It goes against the Constitution, so-called. Right? You can't be held against your will without due process. Okay. So now they're taking away people's ability to freely engage in dialogue, whether it be on the internet or in person, because the internet starts from the internet and it affects the people's conversation on the outside. Okay? Because now they say, oh, if you hear this type of conversation, it's related to this. You see? So they're already quelling that. They're already coming up with ideas on how to do away with the so-called Second Amendment as well. So your ability to speak and your ability to defend yourself is being taken away. So now, guess what the next couple of rights that they're also going to do away with? Your ability to have due process. You know, a speedy trial. Now, you go into something known as the NDAA, all right, the National Defense Authorization Act, all right, and you read into it, you read that with the Patriot Act, you understand that there is no such thing as, okay, well, we're under martial law and everyone has their rights. Hell no. When martial law is enacted, you know what's going to happen? They're going to send their troops to go door to door, house to house, and ask if you have any weapons, you're going to surrender them shits. Okay? Any form of weapon you have, they're going to come in and they're going to take your shit. It's all written in the female executive orders. Okay? You're going to surrender your weapons, right? If you got any food that might be a little bit in abundance, they're going to have to quell that, right? And then if you know anyone who's engaging in any type of conversations that might be going against their narrative, you're going to have to give it up. You see? So,
I was gonna say, I believe, isn't that basically? I just want to search it up real quick. Isn't that basically a modern day earth and water? If I'm not mistaken, I believe. What's his name? In Book of Judith was doing that. Basically, I want complete subjugation. I want no fighting back.
What Xerxes did?
Not Xerxes. Nebuchadnezzar in the Book of Judith when he sent out what's his name? Holofernes. Basically go around the nations.
Oh yeah.
He basically said, I want earth and water.
Was that?
I believe it was Judith.
Yeah.
I believe it's like the fifth one.
I know this guy did the same thing. Darius. And that's when the Spartans kicked down the messenger down the well. They said F that shit, we ain't giving you no earth and water.
Oh yeah.
That was Darius.
I think that I think yeah, it might have been either Darius or Xerxes.
But yeah, it says the demand for earth and water symbolizes that those surrendering to the Persians mentions the Persians. But I do remember that in the Book of Judith, Nebuchadnezzar asked for that. It says the demand for earth and water symbolized that those surrendering to the Persians gave up all their rights over their land and every product of the land. So pretty much it's just what you just mentioned is pretty much a modern day earth and water.
Yep. They got oh damn, there's this term that they have where basically the president could sign off. Oh damn, there's a term, I forget what it is, but basically they sign off and you just got to give up your land, all right, your
eminent
resources.
Domain.
Eminent domain. There you go. Water. Hey, that's the spirit. Water. That's the spirit. Eminent domain. So they'll come in and they'll say, listen, you know, in the name of eminent domain, the government has decided we need this plot of land to construct some type of public infrastructure. Very, very conspicuous, vague language. That's what they do, right? We just got to put up a public infrastructure, whether it be a railroad or whatever, a street, whatever. And we're going to compensate you, all right? So you give up this land, we're going to give you some resources in return, and then we'll relocate you or whatever it may be. Guess what? Once that happens, technically they're supposed to let you know how long it's going to be, and then you can get back your land or whatever. Isn't it?
Yeah, what he was quoting.
Okay. Right? But now Esau, being the devil that he is, he comes in with that clever trick of eminent domain. All right, I'm coming in and I'm taking this domain. This is my dominion now. I'm taking over. Here's what I'm gonna give you. Sometimes they don't compensate people, man. If let's say you live in a small little town somewhere, they'll just come take your shit. And if you try to resist, they'll just take you out. And nobody's gonna hear from you ever again. You see? You got these ranchers, you know, people that got land and they're trying to be on some like, nah, we're gonna protect what we have. Listen, bro, they come in hot with the troops. They're wiping everybody out. When they strike the power down, it's gonna be all hell breaking loose, man. And Esau gonna sit back and wait. And guess what? When people are bugging out and watching, they're gonna be watching. They got their drones out there, they got their AI that's paying attention to all this shit. So people gonna be like, all right, we're gonna hide. It'll be a month. A month in, they haven't moved yet. And people are just trying to find, life. Electricity is down, the banks are down, right? Hospitals are down, all hell's breaking loose. Cemetery, all hell's breaking loose. You might think that they might have the hospitals running full capacity. Well, guess what? The hospital's not going to be running. You know why? Because they're not going to be allowing people to come in. Let's say that happens in a time of another national health crisis. With all this limitation, how many people can go in at once? You're going to have long lines of traffic. The power goes out. Everyone is trying to flee from one end to another. It's going to be all hell breaking loose, man. Traffic, traffic light's not going to be working. Cell phone's not going to be working. And that's what people rely on. People rely on electricity for guidance in society, for everything. You see? People go out, anything, there's a question that pops in their head. Rather than try to think it out, let me Google it. Oh, Google's not there. Okay, what happened to electricity? Siri, tell me when the electricity is gonna come on. Siri's nowhere to be found. So your dependence on these technology, these gadgets, and not on Yahweh Shah will be to your detriment. Because those of us who know and trust in the Lord, guess what? We're gonna know when the time comes. Oh shit, here we go. And then we're gonna leave it to the Lord to guide us. Oh, okay, Lord wants us to go over here. He gonna deliver us, man.
To add to the brother's point, it's like a crack dealer that gives out his shit for free, and then he gets everybody hooked up. And then after a while, he says, all right, we're about to raise the price. That's how he's doing with the internet, all these devices. Now you gotta have something inside you to be a part of this club, baby. You can't just come up in here and at first it was free. At first, everybody come in, all right, nope, shut them out now. But we want in, we want a piece. And that's exactly how it's gonna do it. Because they're addicted. People are addicted to the internet. Even we have to check ourselves. Sometimes you find yourself on the phone too much, like, damn, let me just chill. Let me just put that shit away somewhere and go do some reading or walk outside or something. Because it pulls you in,
Like a vortex. It's literally the black mirror. That's what the phone is. It's a black screen. It's literally a black mirror. And why is it called black mirror? Because the screen is black, but what's inside the screen when you open it, people mirror the things that they see on the phone. And these are all. That's why they call them influencers, because you're following after people that influence your behavior and your thought process. It's all done by design. These devils are very, very clever. They show you a lot of things. Like, it's just out there. If you really pay attention, you'll be like, oh shit. It's all witchcraft, man. Like the brother said, it's all addicting. Because even Netflix, there was a documentary on how they program social media and how they make it so it's addicting to everyone. Yeah, you be on there, you be like scrolling through. They know what to show you at certain times. They know how long you're gonna be on there, how short you might be on there, what can they put on there for you to stay on a little bit longer, come back and check your messages, your likes, your comments. They do that shit on purpose, man. It's to keep your attention in there because attention is money. Okay? The more attention you have on these gadgets, the less you're inclined to pay attention to what's going on actually around you. And that's perfect for them right there. Keep them right there. Keep them in that little box. So that way they don't know what's going on around them. You see? And then they're making all these changes, and then boom, they're gonna crash that box from you. Now you're forced to deal with what's going on, and you're like, whoa, sudden shock. We got him. You see? You're blocking out your ears, the warning is going out, you don't want to hear it. It's all done by design, man.
Yeah,
and the Lord said that He's going to blind your ears, blind your eyes and close your ears so you don't hear. How's He doing that with all the things, the distractions around the world? It's very easy.
Yeah, because they use social media like Instagram and stuff to control your dopamine release. Because whenever you watch, that's where the whole memes come in, right? You'll find yourself sitting there for hours, and you scroll. It's like every couple of minutes you'll see something funny, like a reel, and then you'll watch it and you'll be like, oh shit, it's funny. Let me send this to somebody. Oh, this one, let me send this to somebody. So as you're scrolling, you're waiting for the next thing that gives you that spike in dopamine inside of your head. That gives you that joy. And you'll notice that after a period of time, people feel drained because now their dopamine levels, because every time you have a very high spike in dopamine, it has an even lower low. So your dopamine levels come real low. There was a scientist who was explaining that when people do things like bungee jumping or skydiving, afterwards they hit a very low, like an all-time low, because there's nothing that you need time for your dopamine levels to reset. Because now nothing excites you as much as jumping from a freaking plane all the way coming down. The things you would normally do to excite you is not the same. It's like people who are constantly smoking all the time, right? If they're smoking weed or whatever the case is, the first few times they get that high feeling, but then soon it becomes a thing where your regular day is boring, and if you're not high, everything doesn't even feel normal anymore. You got to keep on staying high. So that's what they do with the dopamine release thing. It's like when you if you've ever eaten like pistachios or any form of nuts that have a shell that you got to open before you eat it, you'll find yourself sitting there constantly reaching, crack, eat, reach, crack, eat, because every time you eat it, you get the actual source, you get that release. And then while you have that release, you're reaching for another one, you're cracking, and as you're cracking, you're excited. You can't wait to get to that part, and then got it. All right, let me get the next one. And that's how they keep you going. So they replicate that feeling through scrolling. Because as you're scrolling, you can't wait to see the next funny thing. Or you may click on the channel of wherever the shit is at and just start watching there's different stuff over there. And then you notice you may be doing something, but sometimes you don't even want to be on Instagram, but you just find yourself opening the app. Every time you grab your phone, your hand automatically goes boom to open this app. And sometimes you open it just to close it right back. Like, why the f am I on Instagram? And sometimes you know, yo, I should get off of this. Like, I've been here for a minute. Like, there's nothing interesting here. I'm just scrolling. And it's wasting my time. But that's how they control you. It's like you said, it's sorcery.
Yep. And if you're not privy to, hey, it tells you what's that? Second Corinthians 2:11. That let's say
devices.
Yeah.
Let's get that.
Let's get that real quick. You know.
Anybody who got it. Yeah. Well, you also got Ecclesiasticus to back up the earlier point. Oh, the second chapter about if you don't trust in the Lord.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You want me done out? That's it. Let me take it out. You can start with 2 Corinthians, and then we can get
this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11.
So really, if you really analyze the position the Lord put us in, we really have a supernatural ability, but it's so downplayed, and to us it's normal because we're used to it. But when you were on the outside and you heard brothers teaching, it sounded like, yo, how does brother know what this? I remember the first time I came up, I was speaking, and then the teacher was talking to another brother, telling him, get this precept, get that precept. And I was like, damn, you didn't even listen to what I'm saying, because I had a question. And next thing I know, the precepts that they brought up were answering my question. So what he said was, he said, hold on one second, brother, I'm getting the precepts to answer your question. I said, okay, I thought you was just being distracted. You know, but they got the precepts, so I was wondering in my head, wait, how do you remember where in the Bible every single thing is? I can't even understand the first few words of the book of Jeremiah. And you know, they give me Jeremiah, this chapter, this verse, and then also give me this, and then hold that. And then some way, somehow, it's like, this lines up with this, which lines up with that. And I'm like, how you doing that? Is that magic? You know, but now when you cross over and you start doing it, you fail to remember that that's the Spirit of the Lord. That actually allows you to do that and understand it and break it down and tie it all in together. We have the ability. I remember Gabar used to say this all the time about when you watch these movies, you got to watch with a spiritual eye. I used to be like, what is he talking about? What do you mean spiritual eye? I'll be watching it and I get caught up in the actual, scene, and I'm like, this is lit. And I gotta be like, no, gotta watch it with a spiritual eye. But now, whenever you watch it, now you understand. Like, you see it, there you go. You don't gotta even focus. The second they say something, it drops. You're like, oh shoot. Oh, that's what they pushing that. They pushing this. It's natural. You know? So these are certain things that the Lord has blessed us with that these average people don't have the ability to do that. So when you actually engage with somebody in the world, you know, you slowly but surely, you talk to them, you feel their pulse, you give them a little bit. To them, it's a lot. Yeah. But to us, it's normal. Right. But to them, they see us as like, yo, these guys are different. Like, the way you think, the way you act, just your energy alone is different. But once again, because we're always amongst each other, to us, it seems normal. But we're actually different. The Lord has actually given us the ability to see the future. How often do you actually find yourself being afraid of something? For those of you who sincerely trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, how often do you actually find yourself actually being afraid? You know, sometimes you find yourself being a little weary, and then you remember that you can pray. And all of a sudden, it's like mass relief just comes like, oh shit, why the hell didn't I just pray? You know, and after that, you just be calm.
That's it. Then you start getting mad at yourself because you didn't pray.
That's it.
You're like, shit.
I was stressing out this whole time.
You know, like Neo in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Like after a while, because the more we repeat this truth and continue to teach and get into the scriptures and pray, the Lord is bolstering our faith and making us stronger and stronger to where it's like those seasoned fighters where they're just dodging the punches and they're not even thinking about it. Like this is one guy, Max Holloway, bro. He hit the dude with a right hand, he wasn't even looking at him. And then the dude, he wasn't looking at him, the dude threw a bunch of combinations at him, he dodged everything. I'm the best boxer in the UFC. That nigga gotta be a Jake. But pretty much it becomes like second nature.
Yeah,
to where
muscle
it's just
memory.
like the precepts just roll off your spirit.
Yeah, it's like spiritual muscle memory. You know, and then that's the thing you get, and also your understanding grows. You know, there's certain things that you may have done when you first
You gotta move faster like the other one.
there's certain things that you used to do when you first came to the truth, but now you don't anymore. Because you gain wisdom. Like in the beginning, you were very overrighteous, overzealous. No, I can't do this. What if I do this? I can't do. Oh.
You should keep like mad Sabbath a week.
Yeah, you keep like yeah.
Can't do dishes.
You can't do nothing. You just lay on the bed all day. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to defile the Sabbath. You know, if the TV's on, you shut it off. You everything. You know, but as you grow, you start to understand how the Lord works, how the mercy of the Lord works, how the grace of the Lord works. And then you start to actually realize that, you know what, it's easier to walk. You know, you go from crawling to walking, and now you have your balance. Now you can jog, now you can run. You know, so you become more skillful. But really, this is for those that sincerely grow, you know, in the work of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Because if you're not growing, because when you grow, you know, you're reading, you're studying, certain questions come up, you're looking into things, and when you read the scriptures again, you know, you get a deeper understanding. But aside from that, just your normal life and your relationship with the Lord, it grows to where you understand how the Lord works with you. That's it. That's it. So you understand how the Lord works, and that's one of the most important things in this truth, because you're going to need that. You're going to need to know how to determine, okay, was that the work of the Lord? Is the Lord trying to tell me something? Am I messing up? Because I know what the Spirit of the Lord feels like when I know I'm messed up on something. You know, I know that feeling, and I recognize it. I also know the feeling when I'm hyped up in the spirit. Like, you can identify all of these things, and that's very important. Because in the times to come, you ain't gonna have the ability to say, oh brother, I've been feeling like this, or you know, this happened. Can you tell me what you think this means? You might not have that. Now what are you gonna do? You gotta be your own man. That's why the scriptures say you gotta be fully persuaded in your own mind of what you're in this for. Because at the end of the day, as much as we're here for each other, you're still on your own. All right, you're still on your own. The next brother can't beam you up with him. You know, he can't convince the Lord on your behalf. He can pray for you, but it's what you do between you and the Lord.
We always got to remember that, you know, ever since the Lord started putting us in captivity with underneath these other nations, we've always gotten to a point where we call upon the Lord and he actually answered.
Yeah.
You know, but it was always, we were in a time of desperation. You know, look at our ancient forefathers. Look at the time of Egypt. It was a time of desperation. Look at the time of the Persians, right? Haman, you know, plotting against us, scheming against us. It was a time of desperation. We cried unto the Lord. The time of the Greeks, right? With the Maccabees. Okay, the Lord strengthened us to go to war. All right, countless times against the Greeks. Okay, look at the 7 brothers and their mother. Look at what they went through, right? You call upon the Lord and you keep your faith in the Lord. You trust in the Lord, right? Scripture says, though he slay me, yet will I maintain my trust in him. So you got to maintain in the trust in the Lord, man, no matter what happens. Look at Yahushua. Look at the apostles. They all maintain their trust in the Lord, whether it be death or not. The Lord is always going to reward you, man. And those who died for the name of the Lord, when we look at them today, we like, damn, that's valiant. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, you just died and that's it. Nah, bro, that's valiant. Look what they did to Stephen. Like, whoa, you know? So we look at all these things and we marvel, but at the same time, we don't lose sight that the fact is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua was dealing with us back then. He's dealing with us now. He's going to deal with us when we get there. You know, we have faith in that. That we call upon the Lord, he always comes through. I mean, the Lord was sending angels down to fight on our behalf. Okay, he's going to do the same thing again this time, man. right? He's given us visions already. It's in the scriptures. You know, when he says that he's going to send his angels to come and guide us and protect us, he told Joshua he's going to be with us wherever so he may go. So we have faith in that. Look at the countless wars that Joshua went to. When we first crossed over into the land of Israel, when we started conquering those nations that were living over there, who went through that? We had never been there before. It was our first time. We had to learn the terrain of the land, so he had to send spies. All right, go check out this place. Come back and give us word. That's all the Lord guiding you to do that. You know? All right, how many men are we going to take? The Lord's like, all right, take only these amount of men. All right, take this.
Oh, the Lord, when you read in the book of Joshua, the Lord gave him the game plan.
Yeah,
He told him, you set ambushes over here,
Yep.
you set the bait over here, and when these guys come out, at the same time, y'all come up in there and burn the city,
Yep.
trap them in the middle.
Yep, exactly.
That's why he's a man of war.
He's a man of war, God of war.
It's great.
You know? So he's going to give us the blueprint when the time comes. We're not worried. These devils are the ones who are in trouble. All right? You don't have enough technology to withstand the power that the Lord's going to give his men. All right? No matter what you do, your AI will not stand against the spiritual power the Lord will bestow upon his men.
They're carnal.
They're carnal. And we're going to break them in pieces, man. With our bare hands.
Through the spirit.
Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Okay?
Next thing you know, you're on CNN. We're gonna break him in pieces, man. With our bare hands. With our bare hands. With our bare hands.
Say that 10 times in a row.
Oh shit.
You know? But ultimately, guess what? It's all gonna happen.
Yep.
You know?
Like what the Lord said that with thee, we're like breaking pieces the horse and his rider.
Yep. Exactly. You know, that's what's written, so it's gonna happen. All right, no, whether you like it or yes, it's going to happen, man. It's a collision course that you're on. Okay? And the Lord, the scripture says that what? That touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Okay? We have tremendous power coming our way, man.
That's it.
All right? You got it, brother.
Ezekiel 25:14, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
You know what that means? That means that the Lord is going to bring out his vengeance upon the Edomites by using the Israelites. Okay? Not the ones that are in cahoots with him, but the elect. Carry on.
And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger.
According to mine anger. Why? Because if it was according to our anger, it would be like the equivalent of like, I don't know, like if your 9-month-old child got mad at you and they hit you with all their might. That's like what we think our anger is like. But the Lord is looking at it like, no. Let me show you what real anger is like. Let me show you the wrath of a God. Do it this way. You wipe out the whole damn half their race. You know?
And guess what? According to his anger, meaning that also comes with according to his time as well.
Yep.
Because if it were up to us, man, we would have been going in hot. Like, yo, fuck this, look at these devils, look what they teaching, look what. But guess what? You can't say that. You know? But it's according to the time of the Lord. So all we always do is, all right, we wait upon the Lord. Zephaniah 3:8. You know, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord. So we always have that in our minds that, hey, no matter what happens, you wait till the Lord says, it's go time. And when the time is time for the Lord says, go time, it's a wrap.
That's what King David did.
Yes, it's a wrap, bro. You know, it's a wrap. We go, yo, man, it's a wrap. Because at that point, we can't be wrong. There is no wrong. There's nothing holding us back. There is no, oh, well, what if this? Nah. The Lord said it's go time. He's turned his fishers into hunters. At that point, it's time to hunt.
Like Brightburn.
Like Brightburn, exactly. And all these other superhero movies, man.
Yeah, he kept getting the message, I think, from the spaceship.
Yep.
Take the world. He kept saying that his eyes started lit up.
Yeah, and eventually he took it.
Yep. In Daniel 7:18, the saints shall take the kingdom and shall possess it forever, even forever and ever, man. All right? How are we going to do that? It's going to be by violence. All right? The Lord's not going to come down and say, oh, no, we're going to be peaceful.
Let's be diplomatic.
No, hell no. You guys were not diplomatic. When have you ever been? It's always been deception that leads to violence. That's always your MO.
Sometimes diplomacy leads to war.
Exactly.
If you try it and it fails, you gotta
go.
take it.
Yep. And right now, there's going to be war because there's a controversy. Who are the true Israelites, man? That's the controversy now. And the whole world is tuning in. You know what I'm saying? The whole world is tuning in. And there's evidence after evidence after evidence from the word, the standard. And you devils ain't matching up. All right? You're not matching up.
There's a saying that true power invites challenge. And we have the true power through the Lord. But all we're saying is we're going to wait.
Yep.
So that disarms them. Because they're always trying to say that you're going to be violent. Like if you brothers seen the Shirley show, the one, the classic from Apostle Tahar and Yeshai was there, and they were like, well, these are all violent men. And they said, no, we're waiting on the Lord. Even back then they were teaching that. So it's the same spirit. And right now we're saying the same thing. We're going to wait, and the vengeance is going to belong to the Lord. He's going to activate us when the time comes. Right. So they're looking at us like, what do you mean you're just going to wait? You're just going to sit there and wait? Yeah, we're just going to sit there and wait. So why is that so threatening? Because there's actually power in what we're saying. If it wasn't any power, they wouldn't feel threatened by us merely saying we're going to wait. Right. Because there is a power, and our power is going to activate us when the time comes.
That's right. That's like with Daniel, which is why they set a trap, because ultimately what did they say? They said, we can't find anything on him in the matters of the kingdom and anything. But we know what we can find on him? Him praying. So make a law that goes against praying, against calling on any God for a petition. So that's what these devils are doing. They're saying these guys ain't doing anything. They're just waiting. So now we got to make a law against waiting. Yep. And then we got to come against them and say, y'all are guilty of waiting. Yep. So that's why they're saying now that it's not about what you do, it's about what you say and believe. Right. Exactly. That tells us that this is what you might do, so we're going to stop you before you do it.
Right. That was in Marvel Civil War, the Avengers. The government dude came, General Ross, he was like, yo, y'all are too powerful, so listen, we got to regulate you.
That's crazy.
You know, and it was their sheer existence. Like, they're waiting. We're just waiting for a threat to happen. Well, yeah, at the end of the day, they're saying, listen, and that's the same thing we're basically saying is we're waiting. And when the time comes, that's when it's going to be on and popping. But that alone is a threat.
But they can't afford us to wait. Because while we wait, they got to wait. Yep. They can't come after us. Right. But while they wait, their windows getting closer and smaller and smaller. Because more and more people are waking up. So by the time they say, all right, you know what? Now we're going to go after them. Everybody else going to come after them and say, wait. What you doing? You know, why are you coming after them? Because what they're saying is true. And that's more. See, here's the problem with having all these people against you is that means there's more people you got to put down. They want to put down a certain fraction, but they still need a certain fraction that they can control. You know, but if everybody's coming against them, it's gonna be more catastrophic than they planned for, and it might get out of their hands. Remember, these elites, though the Lord gave them the spirit to do these things, they're still men. They don't have a lid on every single thing, because you're trying to control the world here. There's a lot of moving pieces, and sometimes they don't all go according to plan. Save the Lord has it go that way. You know, so they might actually slip up here and there. They might plan this, but then have to, you know, in the moment improvise and try to switch it up to this. So they're not perfect.
Hey, a perfect example would be the folks in the World Economic Forum, right? They have all the power in the world right now. They call all the shots. I mean, they said, listen, 194 nations going to come together under our rule. Whatever we say they're going to do, through the who that, right? So they have the power. But guess what? What else are they battling right now that's been a big problem for them? Information. So though they have the power to control the world, there's one aspect of the world that they still haven't had the complete power over, which is controlling what people are saying and what information is going around. How are people perceiving their reality here, right? So that's a problem. They have to find a way to battle against that. You know, what are the Israelites talking about? Why are people waking up to who the true Israelites are? That means that there's going to be questions about who they claim to be. You see? Especially with this whole thing that happened, the Gaza thing that's going on over there, it's brought a lot of attention to these Israelis, man. Okay? And with that attention, it's making people question. Now, every link that's behind the scenes is all coming up slowly but surely. Oh, so you guys were linked to this. Oh, so really you guys were behind this and telling the world that they did this. Oh, so everything is coming out, man. You see? And it's amazing how the Lord is doing it, because you devils put yourself out there. You know? You devils put yourselves out there. Now the Lord is cooking your ass with the truth. And now you're trying to, oh, this is hate speech. Oh, this is anti-Semitism. Oh my God, this is that. No, this is prophecy. You get cooked all the way. Wholesome. All right?
You got that 2 Corinthians? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you have something?
I'm just finishing up.
Oh, yeah, God.
Ezekiel 25:14, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
Because the Lord said he would have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Right? Go on.
And who's going to be going to war? Is it the Most High himself coming down to war? No, it's people.
Right.
All right, because we come in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua when we fight. See?
Yep.
Right.
And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord Yahweh.
Right, and why is that? Because the Lord said, what? For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, man. All right? Ye that toucheth you, toucheth the apple of his eye. So you already know that just on those 2 counts alone, there's going to be judgment to pay.
Yep.
Which for what you did to the children of Israel, man. For your history, your bloodshed against the Lord's chosen people.
Perpetual hatred
Perpetual hatred.
against thy brother.
There you go.
Yep. So the Lord's going to recompense that.
Yep.
That was it on that?
I just want to jump down to 17.
That's
It
right.
says, and I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes, and they shall know that I am Yahweh when I shall lay my vengeance upon them.
That's in Ezekiel, right?
That's Ezekiel 25:17.
Yeah, see, because when you read the book of Ezekiel, the Lord had Ezekiel, and he also had Jeremiah and other prophets do this as well, but that's why he said, I've made you a prophet unto the nations. Because they will not only prophesy against Israelites, they will prophesy against these other nations as well, their kings. And he would tell them, set your feet against the mount of this place, and prophesy this unto them. Now at the time of Ezekiel, when the Babylonians came and took, messed up Israel, guess what? It was the Edomites that burnt the temple. You know? And they came up in there and took our villages and all of that. So they played a hand in that. And they helped, tribes of Israelites for the Babylonians.
Raise it.
Even to the foundation thereof. So the Most High said, okay, but you know what, at the same time too, in their minds they had a reason to, right? Look at what Saul did. Look at what King David tried to do to them. You know what I mean? Look at what, so they like, hell yeah. We're gonna help the enemy, get your ass. But that's okay because you started it. You should have let us through your land, nigga.
That's why the heathen nations have to band together to stop to put us down. Because when we're in the seat of power, hey man, when the Lord brings that power, Esau would love to have some. All right, we're going to sign you up to a registry. You're enhanced beings.
Yeah.
We're gonna, you can do what you got to do, but you got to be registered.
Right.
See, the Lord's gonna have the Spirit on us. How could you register a God in your wicked system?
Right.
We're going to be beyond this place, Lord's will with those men.
They're gonna want to experiment on you.
Right.
They're gonna want to strap you up, and they're gonna try to cut into you and find out how do your genes work and what happened, especially being that you were born a regular person, and then we gotta keep them. That's that.
Hey, isn't that what they did with the black Jesus story?
Yeah, they try to.
They invited him,
cut him up and all that.
Cut him up nicely, put him in some type of crazy ass suitcases, and then sent it different parts of the world. Yeah. And then he reassembled and showed up to DC, according to what they said in the story, of course. And they were bugged out, like, what the fuck? How do you, yo? And he said, no, man, I see that you guys have a strong disdain for me being here. So I'm gonna leave. But in the future, there's gonna be many men like me that are gonna come back into this earth. They're gonna be right here, and they're gonna just transition into something like me and even greater. And at that point, there's nothing you can do. Then it's gonna be war. Like we're gonna wage war on you, and there's nothing you could do about it. We're gonna destroy your whole shit. Your whole system is gonna be destroyed, man. All right, he told him that. All right, and that time is coming. That's why, starting from the 80s, they started doing research on the so-called black population. And start doing the projects and all that, because now they're like, we need to narrow their population so we can study them, see who's who and what's what. Then you start seeing the Black Panther movement. They said, hold on, what is this right here? Any type of resistance from a specific group of people, they're like, wait a minute, could this be it? And now it's time for the Israelites, and now they're like, okay, this is it. That's why even the apostles even brought out, every now and again, they'll bring out the story of when they were out there, you got this black limo, whatever, that pulled up, and then some Edomite pulled up and straight to them and said, how did you guys find out this? How did you get this information? How did you find this out? Well, it's the Spirit of the Lord. It's prophecy. You don't believe in the scriptures? Well, we do.
Oh, they got books on this, and you try to get those books, they're like over $1,000. Sometimes they'll tell you it's out of print. You can't get it anywhere. And these are like old, them old books that never had, they don't have the design on the cover. It's just like the wooden cover, and then the parchment-ish kind of paper inside. They got those books, and those books, which are them secret libraries, actually tell them in detail, these are the real people. These are who and who. So they're wondering, how the hell did you get access to this information in detail?
Right.
I mean, it's almost like you're a primary source of the information.
Exactly.
And the book is the secondary source.
Right.
So how is that?
Right.
So they watch us, they study us, they look, and they're like, yeah, and they confirm with their spirits. Guess what? How do you know that the spirits know? Well, when the 7 sons of Sceva, what did the demon tell him? He said, Paul I know, and Yahushua I know, but who are you? So them demons, and what did the Lord tell the disciples? Don't rejoice that you have power over this, but that your names are in heaven. So the left-hand spirits and the right-hand spirits, they know who the men of the Lord are. So if these devils commune with left-hand spirits, don't you think that they would know who the true men of the Lord are? Don't you think that they would know that we're not just, people that just get up out of nowhere for fun? Do it for fun.
And remember, they have technology to track our lives. They know what we do when we're not on camera. Right. And they know, like, these are truly the men of the Lord because they're completely different. When the regular conversations we have amongst ourselves, it's always about the scriptures. It's always about the Lord. It's there's nobody else on this earth that does the things we do. All right? And we all do the same thing in just different ways. And they know that. They're like, yep, we're one of them. And it's the same thing. It's like we're regular men just doing our own thing, and then suddenly out of nowhere, we subscribe to the Bible, and now we understand the Bible. They're like, what? How does this? Do they go to a secret place somewhere? That's why they start sending vocab. Right. Go in there and find out. Go. You're gonna be the guy to go in the front seat. Go and interact. Provoke them. Just go and get as much information. Interact with them as much as you can, and that way, through your interaction, we gonna gather our information that we need. But guess what? The more interaction, the more vocab is getting cooked. I'm sure he's going back and said, listen, this is too much.
You're looking like a rotisserie chicken right about now. That heat is too much.
The man loses weight, then he gain weight. He loses weight, then he gain weight.
He grows the beard, he cuts it. He grows the beard.
It's a lot of stress, that you brought upon this guy. Leave the guy alone. Pay his ass off and go sit out someplace. Leave the country. We've told you what's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. All right, vocab. We're telling you, like the brother said earlier, we could tell you the future. Now, if you're an Edomite, which we truly believe you are an Edomite, you're gonna be in slavery. We'll see you on the other side. But for now, my man, you just go make your money, keep doing your YouTube videos, but leave America, bro. Just leave. It's your best bet, bro. Just leave.
We'll come find you when the time is right.
It's like, and then you can thank us later. When you see the missiles dropping and your ass is somewhere on an island somewhere, just watch it and praise. They say, damn, hey, water to you brothers, man. You gave me the heads up. I appreciate it.
Lord might say, nah, nigga, teleport his ass back. Just when he think he made it out. Because you ain't never escaping the hand of the Lord. Yeah. The Lord might say, I'll get you on this side, and then you come back in the kingdom, and then I'll get you on that side too. Because in the kingdom, we're going to know. We're going to know spirits. We're going to know who's who. And when you coming back on the earth. We're gonna look up. Yeah, okay. In a couple of years, you'll be down. Because guess what? The wise men they saw a chariot that let them know. They knew where and when Yahushua was gonna be born. Yep. And they went there. You think we're gonna be gods and we're not gonna be able to tell? Right. How do you think Yahushua knew who Peter and the rest of the disciples were when he went to find them? Yep. He knew that this is David right here. This is this person. This is that person. And he knew where they were, and he knew exactly how to get them. He really commanded them. Yep. When he said, "Come with me." That's why they stopped everything and they went with him. It was like an override command, like, okay, what I'm saying, follow me. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
You were with me in the beginning, so it's like, I know y'all, so it's like, hey, yo, come here. And just follow. Oh, my sheep.
He took it out of my head.
So it's the sheep here.
That's it. Same thing we're doing today.
Yep.
It's a word. Remember, Yahushua came down as the word physically 2,000 plus years ago. Now he's just doing it through the Spirit, the Comforter. It's a word that brings us in. It's what drives it home and what brings in the elect.
It's what gathers them.
It's what gathers them.
No, it says that. His word has gathered them.
Yep.
Did you have something?
Oh yeah, it was 2 Corinthians.
Right, 2:11.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
So who's Satan? Satan is the adversary. And right now, who's the primary adversary? Esau, Edom. Because now they so-called working with Satan, really they being deceived, right? But lest they should get an advantage of us, meaning get the upper hand over us. They would, right? That's why the scriptures say, if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect. But the Lord has given us the Spirit where our eyes are open. So we see everything that you're trying to do. So you can't get an advantage of us. Everything you try, the Lord guides us in the right way. So we're always one step ahead, right? So what does it say? Let's say he should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So you may think, oh, you guys are always reaching, you reaching. No, we're being wise, we're being prudent, we're foreseeing the evil. You always got to suspect your adversary, always, because they're your adversary for a reason. That means they're always up to something. Saying don't take breaks, you know. So while you're sleeping, they're plotting. Because you know what? Here's the thing: we physically come and do the work. They don't. They got people that do it for them. They got people on shifts, rotations, constantly. So while you're resting, they're working. Flying something. Micah 2 and 1. They're working evil upon their bets. They're thinking, what's the best way we can, what's the next thing to do that we can really get these people with? But guess what? As the scriptures tell you in Numbers, there's no enchantment against Jacob. So you best believe they're throwing up curses, seances, trying to come against us, but it's all to naught. Enchantments, sorceries, but it all fails. You got something that show?
Yeah. 1 Peter 5 and 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
All right, so you can still live, but you got to live within the boundaries of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, being sober-minded. Because if you step out of that, it just takes one toe. Then demons will pull your ass out. The wiles of the devil. And that's where that temptation comes in. Because, see, what the demons do is, if the hedge, if say that line right there is the boundary, they can't cross that. But they can get you to try and step out of it. That's where temptation comes in. So it's like that clown that's in the sewer that's trying to lure the kid to come into the sewer. Because he knows if he comes out, niggas will chase his ass with stones and shit. So he'll rather try to lure you down in there. That's what the demons do. They see you over there, and then what did the serpent do to Eve? He didn't grab her and pin her down, you gonna eat this apple, bitch. You know what I'm saying? He asked, you gotta do it yourself. That's what the serpent is gonna do with the seer. He's gonna tempt you and entice you to come and take it. Because that's the way, that's when you willingly consent. At that point, the Lord is like, all right.
That's why it says receiveth. When you go into that word receiveth, I forget the Greek word in there, but it basically tells you that it's didomai. Yep, that's it. Yep. And they'll basically, people consent to it. You're giving your power onto them. Like, okay, fuck it. I guess it's a trade. I'll give you this. You take the right hand or the forehead, and then all right, I'll get whatever I want now.
But what does it say? The false prophet deceived them, which had received the mark. Yep. So it's all deception. They gotta make you. They gotta indirectly make you make the decision.
Yes.
So that's what them demons are there for. And they know, especially when it comes to the Israelite man, one of the top things is women. So they always say, because all they gotta do is just get a woman that looks good. And if you are a man that's not grounded, you're not rooted, you don't have perspective, you don't got goals, you don't have anything that you're doing. Because when you do that, you realize that women are a distraction. Like, I'm not looking for women, I'm looking for this salvation. You know what I mean? So when they come to you, they're like, all right, this guy right here, he a little weak on it. He's easily distracted. Let me send her his way. And for years, that's the thing about agents, is that time builds trust. And that's when your defenses slip. They will be there for 10, 20, 15 years. I was in a marriage with this woman for 30 years. She was an agent. Like that movie that you were telling me about. How you have a wife for 30 years and she was an agent the whole time?
Talking about Total Recall?
Oh no, I'm just making something up.
It was different. There was a different movie, but it was that story.
You find out this bitch was an agent the whole time. She was receiving information on you. She got cameras in the shower cap and all that shit. You know what I mean? You wouldn't believe it if you found out after 30 years. Like, here's a good one. What's that name of the show? Imposters?
Yeah.
Maddie?
Yeah.
Maddie, right?
Oh, yeah.
Even after they found out, they said, no, it can't be real. It can't be real. This is Maddie. This ain't no agent.
She was a con artist, too.
Yeah. So that's how they do. Like, they're real good at it. And imagine that with the help of a demon. They're gonna get your ass like there's no tomorrow. So that's why it says, let's say he should get an advantage of us, but we are not ignorant of his devices. You know what else they do? Being that they study your lives, they study your personality. They know what you like and what you don't like, your do's and your don'ts, what you're looking for. So guess what? That's where they can send. Sometimes you think things are a coincidence. They're not. You know why? Because they know that if we do this, it will seem too convenient for this person to actually believe it. You know that sometimes things that seem too good to be true, sometimes that's actually the case.
That's the case.
You know, when it comes to you, you're thinking, ain't no way they did this. There is no way. This is too obvious for them to have done it. Well, that's the cover they're looking for. They're gonna come right under your nose and hide right there. Because why would you ever check right under your nose? You know? So that's how they get you. Oh, you the kind of person that likes this. Send this chick out. Let him meet her at the gym. Let him meet her at school, at the park, at the cash register.
What you just said remind me of Arkham. No. Arkham Asylum. What's that song? Yeah, City. When Joker tricked Batman thinking that spoilers, Salakia. Sorry. But if you haven't played Arkham City, Batman Arkham City, basically the Joker was sick in the game, but he had Clayface play him, and Batman didn't know, and Batman didn't know that Clayface was acting as Joker. So Joker said, basically, how do you keep a secret from the world's greatest detective? Do you know? You put it right underneath him, right under his pointing nose, and wait. I remember that. When you said that, I remember that again.
And wait.
Yeah,
That's exactly.
Yeah, that's 2 Corinthians 11 and 14, where it says that that don't marvel, for even Satan has transformed himself into a minister, into an angel of light. You know, so the messenger of light. So they will come in with the the things that sound normal. Like they will pay off your clergymen, your pastors, all these different people, your doctors, your nurses, people that you assimilate or associate with positivity in your world. You actually listen to your doctor.
A lot of them are Satanists.
Satanists, exactly, because they take the Hippocratic oath and all that, you know. But you if your doctor was to tell you something, for the most part, people will listen to that because you think he's a health expert. Okay, well, Esau knows that. So you say, okay, well, you will influence people in making health decisions. So I'm going to influence you to influence them so you can influence them on what I want you to put on them. How about that? And then they bring in the drugs. They show you that in this movie, I think it was a show or a movie about Purdue and shit like that. And it was going to like
the company?
The company where they were going into like big pharma and the drugs and how they work with the doctors and how they even get people hooked on these addictive drugs and all this shit. They show you all these things, man. Esau is a devil. And his motive is all about money. Okay? So no matter what you do, if you go into business with somebody who tells you, listen, my goal here is to make money. Nigga, why the hell would you put your health into his hands? You know, like it's like he's telling you, I'm here to make money. I don't care if you're
killing you is more rich.
If that's lucrative, he's doing that.
You're living.
You see? So a devil who comes out and tells you, listen, my end goal is to make money. Nigga, bro, I'm not making no deals with you. Especially these Jays. Because guess what? On the Day of Atonement, you know what they do? They take an oath. It's called the All Vows Oath. Otherwise known as the Kol Nidre. All right? And that's basically them saying any vow or oath or promise that they make within this Day of Atonement to the next Day of Atonement is null and void. It's an oath that they take. So your dumbass coming around making deals with them, you know, thinking that, oh, this is all based on good faith. They're going to listen. We're making a vow or an oath. You know, they just took an oath. They're going to perjury. They're going to cause perjury every time. Why? Because they don't believe in that oath, man. It's null and void. You know? Lord willing, I'll do a separate lesson on that. But these devils are very, very clever. So you never trust them, man. Scripture says never trust thine enemy for a reason.
Crafty.
They're very crafty. So you sitting there, you know, oh yeah, we sat down, you know, the rabbis came, we sat down, we had a discussion. Like this guy, Nate, you have no idea what they're about to do to you, bro. You have no idea what they're about to do to you. All right? You're going to be shocked. The world is going to be shocked.
Haman is an example of how crafty they can be.
Yep.
You know, if you look at the way he was moving, how he got into the ears of the king, he tried to swindle him. Yep. That's what they do. Yep. Yeah, and they do it. I mean, it's like drinking water to them. Oh, yeah. You know, this guy Antipater, the Idumean. Yep. Okay, they got to the side of the Romans. I mean, they know exactly what to do and how to do it. You know, but you got that?
Yeah, precept. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
You hear that? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Here's the thing about butter. I can't believe it's not butter. Yeah, butter is slippery. You know, if you know they say somebody has butter fingers. Like if you try to catch a ball and it keeps slipping out your hand, you can't catch it. So when their words are smoother than butter, you can't catch what they're saying when it goes into your ears. It slips past your mental defenses. You know? So they'll tell you, really they're saying, we're about to kill you. All you're hearing is, we want to help. it's safe and effective. Exactly.
Hey, it says in Revelation that that he was he had two horns like a lamb, but spake as a dragon. Roughly paraphrasing, but that's exactly the embodiment of that. You know, the lamb comes all meek but really there's an inward dragon. You know, Babylon is that big gluttonous whore, but on the outside she looks like a beautiful woman.
Right.
But now the point is coming, her gut is showing out, she got stretch marks, everybody's seeing, and we just went into how, not to get too sidetracked, but we went into how all the nations been feeding her, and now she's become so gluttonous and out of hand, they're like, all right, we gotta do something about her, she's a problem.
Yeah. She grew a whole mustache, sitting there, she don't cook, she dirty ass.
Hey, that's exactly. But you know what's crazy though? The women of this society show you the image of America today.
They're like daughters of Babylon.
Daughters of Babylon, legit. You know what I'm saying? Like the way they move, a lot of these women are ugly as hell. But guess what? They hide behind hella better. You know? A lot of these chicks, man, bro, if they wipe that makeup off, you be out the way, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna stand a couple minutes, you regret even talking to them. I saw the video, there's a video of this chick, man. Oh my God. And they show you the transition of, you know, taking her time to make the makeup and all that. And you see her face before and after the makeup. You be like, how your nose got longer?
That's crazy.
How your lips look smaller?
That's wild.
Like her eyes, I'm like, what? This is a completely different person, bro. That's exactly what America is.
That's witchcraft.
That's witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? At an all-time high. So they do it, and then it appears a certain way, and then now you actually believe that this what you're seeing is actually what it is. That's witchcraft, bro. That's you being put under a spell. To sit in front of an ugly ass chick, and she got all this makeup on her face, and you see it, but you don't really see it.
Makeup.
Making
Making up a personality.
There you
A
go.
look.
A look.
It's like that Eddie Murphy movie. I forget which one it was. If y'all brothers seen the scene though, he gets his woman back to his place, and she looked real fine. So then she starts piecing her outfit starts coming off. She takes her wig off. She's bald.
Oh,
His
shit.
eyes open up real wide. Oh shit. Then she has a prosthetic leg. She takes her leg off. She got one leg.
I
Yeah.
forget what movie this is.
She takes, I don't know, yeah, it was a whole bunch of shit. Like her ass wasn't even real. She took it off. It was a fake ass. And then her titties was like a boost up bra.
Oh my
It was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
That's America though. Presented there, and that's why these immigrants they come in here. The Northern Kingdom tribes are coming here, and they're like, oh fuck, this whore is smelly. I'm out of here.
That's
Man.
it.
This
That's it.
whore is not what it was advertised as.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yep. It was made up to be.
Right.
This is
Made
not,
up.
yeah,
It's
it's
that
made
makeup.
up to you. Yeah, exactly. And the Lord, like in Isaiah 47, the Lord is uncovering thy locks, and He's making making bare your legs. You know what I'm saying? So everything is being exposed. Okay. 2 Thessalonians tells you that the man of sin is being revealed. Okay. So the world is waking up, man, and the more they're waking up, the more information is coming out, and they're seeing it. They're like, yo, this is true. They can go back and track it. And that's why you devils are, we gotta scramble. We need to cut back on the information on the internet. I said people are being harmed by that. No, you're just creating this concept of it. That's what you're doing. Oh, this is hate speech. No, it's not hate speech. You hate the fact that people can speak freely. That's the problem. All right? That's what you mean when you say hate speech. Going back to your words being smoother than butter.
Oh, right.
You know? You say the smooth things, you bring it out like it's positive, but when you really scrutinize, you be like, wait a minute, whoa, what?
And they do it perfectly in their contracts.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the adhesion contracts, the
Yep.
contracts that you sign. What have you ever wondered? What contract have you seen, especially when it's like terms and contracts, that is ever less than like 5 pages?
Right, man.
Them shits are like books.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Why do you think they're like books? Because they have hidden things in there. You know?
And they bank on your ignorance of those things in there. Because if you're ignorant to the fact, they can get you. That's part of the wiles of the devil. Okay? Cause an atmosphere where it makes people not want to think.
Yeah.
It's too much for me to think. It's too much for me to read this. Sometimes I even fall victim to it. Where you just look at the shit, you be like, yo, this is mad information. These niggas want us to read all this
You
shit.
got to throw up a prayer.
Yeah, just throw up a prayer, you know? And just leave it at that.
Lord,
You know?
is me again.
Lord is me. You know? But that's these devils for you, man. You know?
They're devils.
They are the
Deceivers.
devils. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so,
know?
so why you get mad when we call them the devil? They doing all the works of the devil. Yeah. We want to call you a devil. Well, how often do you hear us call Amalek? How often do you how often do you hear us call Hamites devils?
No.
You know, or Ishmaelites devils?
Right.
Why?
Right.
Well, what the hell are they doing?
Say demons.
Yeah.
Because they're agents of the devil.
Yeah, they're behaving, you know,
Yeah.
in a demonic way.
Yeah.
But a devil, the actual term of a devil is a deceiver,
Right.
a false accuser. So when you look on the world, because you can have Israelites that are devils, but the devil, meaning this is in your nature, this is what you're known for doing, that's you guys.
Right.
And your whole track record shows it. So that's why we call you the devil, because you actually fit the description.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah, just what you said reminded me of. There was a time where I was teaching and this devil came up. It's like a devil, and I was explaining to him the meaning of holy, that it means to be separate, and he was saying holy doesn't separate. Holy doesn't separate, and that goes all into his mindset. That is a huge part of his deception, is that everything is everything. Do as thou will. He doesn't want the separation of holiness, because then it allows him to be profane, and he can be in the temple. He can bring any type of blasphemy, abomination in, and without holiness, then that's what the world that we have right now. That's why what we're doing is so important, because the Lord has made us holy and separate from all of this. Without holiness, how would there be a difference between holy and unholy if holy doesn't separate?
Right. That's why they don't want the concept of exclusivity. That the Bible is very exclusive. The children of Israel are an exclusive nation. Everything is exclusive. The Lord is coming down to deliver his elect first.
But you know what's interesting? How is it that they want the Bible to be inclusive? What about all these other books?
Right.
Why don't you ever go? Why don't you go to the Quran and say, let the Quran be inclusive?
Right.
You why don't you go to the books of the Hindus and say, we want the books of the Buddhists and the Hindus to include everybody?
Right.
Why y'all want to come for the Bible to say that no, Jesus God loves everybody?
Right.
The Hindu God doesn't love everybody?
Right. The same God that you claim not to believe in, but yet you're so concerned about his book and what's written in his book. It's like, what's going on? It's just hypocrisy, bro. And it's being exposed day by day that you devils ain't shit but devils. That's it. All right? And you're going to be destroyed when the time comes, man.
Yeah, they are shit.
That's it.
Let's finish off on that.
Psalms 55 and 21. Again, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
There you go. So and that's the deceptive part about it, is that they're drawn. A drawn sword is out of the sheath, but they're so smooth with it that you don't realize they actually have a knife to your neck. When you're signing the contract, that's the knife to your neck, but you don't see it. You know, you don't see them actually putting the shackles on you as you're signing the contract. There's a video of I think it's from one of the Shrek movies, where he gets deceived by this like elf or some creature like that, and this nigga is like, he's telling Shrek to sign something. Shrek don't even know what it is, but it was a contract. And the dude is literally fiending. He's like, sign it.
Yeah.
This nigga's feet came ripped out of his sneakers and scraped into the ground. He's like, sign it. That's Esau.
Yep.
You know?
Hey,
peace, man.
That's right.
But on the outside, they make it look like, nah, this is good for you. You're gonna like this. You want to see a perfect example of it? Go to a car dealership.
I would say peace there, just be puffing smoke right
Yeah. Go to a car dealership, and you're gonna see what an example of this is. They'll tell you everything but what it is, just so they can sell it to you.
Yep.
And then wait till you get a little scrape on the car, and you're gonna find out if they're really friends or not. But pretty much that's what it's talking about. And that's why, going back to 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, that Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, which goes into his double speak, his wicked mind, his propaganda, his narrative control, all of these things. But at the end of the day, like we taught the lesson, we're living in perilous times. But you know what? It's a beautiful thing, because we don't got to work. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to take care of us. And that's the end of that.
That's right. So hey, man, evil times are here. It's only going to intensify. Like, we didn't even go too much into the article, but I already did a video on it.
Yeah, check
All
it
right?
out.
Yeah,
What's your page on it? Haran Mafka?
No, Lightbringer.
Lightbringer 144K.
But just it's all in there, man. And again, this is all warning. Okay, everything we warn you about will come to pass. It's already happening on a lower scale. But once it hits America, there'll be no mercy, man. It's a wrap. Right, because at that point they have such a small window, they're gonna be moving fast with it, man. That's right. Revelation 12 and 12. They're gonna be moving fast with it. All right, and that's all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua for that. All right. So in closing, as always, we'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Chakadash. The water Yahab Hashem Yahushai. Until next time, shalom to the elect.
Shalom.
Shalom.